Well, welcome back to the DW Stadium for Wigan against Hull FC. We're live at the DW Stadium tonight for a match in which Wigan's pursuit of the Leeds Rhinos at the top of the table continues against a depleted Hull FC team. Well, the Warriors know a win tonight by a big enough margin. The pressure will be on Leeds to perform in Perpignan tomorrow. They'll be level on points with the Rhinos at the end of the day. Points difference could be a huge factor. Wigan make 5 changes to the side that beat the Dragons in London last week. In the backs, Ryan Hampshire plays in place of Matty Bowen. Anthony Gelling comes back into the centre. Joint leading try scorer in the Super League, Joe Burgess, returns to the side, having missed the last 4 games. 2 more changes up front. John Bateman's restored to the second row because Gelling is fit again. He replaces Lon Patrick from last week. Sean O'Loughlin's missing too, so Talima Tautai plays at loose forward. The 5th change comes on the bench. Tautai's elevation to the starting 13 means Connor Farrell comes back, not having played for the last 11 weeks. Now Hull, and the list of absentees includes Sarr, Yeaman, Talanoa, Price, Ellis, Westerman, Michaels and Bowden. So Tom Lynham, joint leading try scorer in the competition with Wigan's Burgess and Huddersfield's Jermaine McGilvray, makes a timely return. 19-year-old Jack Downs gets a place in the starting lineup for the first time, and Dean Hadley moves into the loose forward position to accommodate him. On the bench, 3 19-year-olds, along with Paliasina, who is 33. Turgut, Fash and Masi Matongo are all products of the academy system. It's a debut for Matongo, who was in the academy team, beaten here by Wigan 50 points to 16 last month. So here are Wigan 4 weeks tomorrow, the grand final. Wigan now within touching distance of a top 2 finish and a home semi-final to get back to Old Trafford for the 3rd year in a row. And as far as Hull are concerned, would you believe only Warrington have got a worse record in these Super 8s than Hull? And the Black and Whites really are on their knees. They only could name 18 players for this trip. They have 12 senior men out. The 17 on duty have an average age of only 21. 10 of them have come through the academy system, and we will see Hull's 11th debutant this year in the shape of Masi Matongo. So ancient and loyal, the banner is being unfurled, and that's what Wigan's supporters are. They are loyal whenever the team is on duty here, led tonight by Michael McAlorum, who is the captain in place of the injured Sean O'Loughlin.
It's going to be a difficult night for the Black and Whites, they know it, and Wigan, they look very, very tense indeed, especially the acting skipper tonight, Michael McAlorum. And what a battle that will be between the 2 number 9s, both skippers of their sides tonight, Danny Houghton. That really should be a battle royal. Wigan know that they are odds-on favourites. Wigan know that they need to try to drag back some of those points that Leeds have the advantage. It is going to be a wonderful race to be the table-topping side. Wigan are doing everything they can to make sure that they can snatch it from the Rhinos. It really will be a tense game, and it'll be tense for Wigan, as I said in the build-up, Eddie. Wigan cannot just take it for granted that they are going to run away with this. They should win, yeah, they're favourites to win, but they have got to respect the opposition.
Well, Wigan boast the only 100% record in home games in Super League this year, but Hull came as close as any team to win on this ground over the past 14 months. They lost by a single point, 12-13 in March, courtesy of a Matty Smith drop goal. It was a different looking Hull side then, but Sean Wayne will not give up this chase on Leeds at the top. They have to play Saints, of course, next week, their old rivals, across at Langsbury Park. And Leeds have to go to Perpignan tomorrow, and they have to play Huddersfield to the Rhinos before the end of the season. So anything can happen in the pursuit of that League Leaders' Shield. And for Wigan, the League Leaders' Shield would be important because they would be confirmed as in the World Club Series in 2016 if they win that particular piece of silverware. It's Mark Sneed who's going to get us underway in this match. The match referee, James Child, is waiting for the youngsters to clear the field, which they have, so here we go. and everyone's saying it's not a case of who, but by how many for Wigan tonight. That might be a touch overconfident and a little bit disrespectful to the men from the KC Stadium.
Well, the bookies have got them at a point where they're giving up to 40 points away that Wigan should win by. And that is a big ask. And, of course, the black and whites, of course, they're not playing in black and white tonight, but they really will be up for this. They'll try their damnedest to try to just suck them in, this Wigan outfit. That's good defence.
It is indeed. It's a massive challenge for this Wigan side. And a massive challenge for the Hull side as well, just to try and keep them out. And this is an encouraging opening set by the defence of Hull this evening, and they will be trying all they know to try and slow Wigan down at the play of the ball. That's a long looping pass to Oliver Gildart, and Gildart puts boot to ball into open space. It bounces kindly into the arms of Mark Sneyd, and here now comes Jamie Shaw, fullback in the last three for Hull, but he's being pushed and pulled all the way back towards his own line there. Tau and company very quickly on to him.
Well, the first challenge that Hull have to meet in this game is to run with as much determination as the Wigan players have done at the start of this game, and tackle with as much aggression as they're going to face here now. Last week against the Catalan Dragons, Wigan's defence was just different to that of the French team. They had more men making more commitment and pushing their opponents back, and Hull need to run with as much aggression as I've said, and not find themselves pushed on the back by three defenders like that.
Danny Houghton is the man at dummy half. This is Mickey Payer. Mickey Payer, who crossed the city in 2014, will be crossing the world in 2016, going back to the NRL. Mark Sneyd with a kick down the line into the corner. First, a touch for Ryan Hampshire.
And not a bad kick by Mark Sneyd as well. The chase was pretty good. The kicking game going to be so important by this Hull FC side, Abdul and Mark Sneyd especially.
Logan in there quickly too with that tackle.
We can still have to get through that hard work in the forwards, try to just pull the opposition into the centre so they can get that advantage out wide in the centres.
Matty Smith tips it on to Dom Crosby. He finds Flower. Good tackle low down by Jack Downs, one of the teenagers, substituting each of the last three. This is his big debut in the Super League today. Liam Watts quickly into the face of Dom Crosby.
There's a problem. You mentioned there, you see he's at the right shoulder. He went in awkward into that tackle.
It's Mickey Payer. And that's flicked on by...
That's a knock-on.
Oliver Gildart. Yes, the knock-on is given by James Child. That will be the turnover.
There you can see the knock-on quite plainly here. Just got a fingertip to it. Certainly beat Tom Lynham on that occasion. But it's a big problem for Mickey Payer. There's certainly something wrong with his shoulder.
It's the last thing that Lee Radford would need with the injury list as long as it is, losing one of his top men. This is a great run. Fantastic run that came in then from Curtis Norton. Oh, that bounces off the chest.
Well, a good opportunity is there. It was wonderful run by the winger Norton, put them in a good position.
Jack Downs just couldn't take this one in.
I suppose that's the dilemma that Hull face here. They know they need to respect possession and hold on to as best as possible, but they also have to throw some passes. Nice run by Curtis Norton. He's shown he knows the way over the try line. He also knows the way to make ground down the middle of the field, and his 3 tries in the Super 8s against St Helens were sensational efforts.
Yeah, they feel they can't afford to come up with an error like that. If they're going to control this Wigan outfit, they're going to go through their full set of 6, make sure that the kick is strong and the chase is even better.
Anthony Gelling had the arms free but couldn't get the ball away. It was good work by Logan and Minicello. Smith now with the pass to Crosby. He helps it on again to Bateman. It looks as though Mickey Payer there with the band around the top of his head has recovered from that bang that he took to the shoulder.
And that was good
on the tackle.
Sorry, Andy, that was good defence by the centre, Jordan Rankin, as well. Wigan trying their damnedest to try to get it out wide quickly, but Rankin came in, went on the angle, snuffed it out, and again.
In the face very quickly, Rankin on George Williams.
Well, they've obviously been working hard. Lee Radford, the coach, has said, look, when they bring Williams outside, and it does come outside, often off Smith, and They've picked him out on 2 occasions. Good work by Rankin.
There's been some great play on the edges there from the Hull FC defenders. You're absolutely right. Lee Radford will be happy with the decisions they've made and the way they've executed them. The warning sign is that Wigan will be 1 pass away from causing him an awful lot of trouble. 1 pass and they could free themselves down the field. But up to this moment, Hull FC fans sitting at home watching this, they haven't travelled across in great numbers. You can somewhat understand that with the depleted squad that they've sent over. They should be pretty happy with the start that their side has made.
Yes, one of the youngest sides ever to represent the club in Super League, I venture to suggest tonight, and coached by the youngest coach in the Super League business, in Lee Radford.
Well, it's a golden opportunity for all those 7 youngsters to step up to the plate, show their wares, because as you've already mentioned, Eddie, is that the Hull have spent well for next season.
And Burgess, well, he's trapped by 4 here, would take an almighty effort to get through that umbrella defence, and Downs brings him down with the tackle. Here is Gildart now, and Hull will be encouraged by the opening 6 minutes of this game here.
Again, though, when the Wigan player made contact with those defenders, he still managed to make 2 or 3 metres further than the point of contact, and that's something that even when they're fresh and fit, Hull need to find a way of preventing happening.
Good hands from Wigan, the ball finding its way to Gelling. And Gelling thought about the offload. Sneed cut him off at the pass.
Good work by Curtis Norton as well. Yeah, they're up for this in the defensive line, and you can see that Wigan are standing still. They've got it out, though.
They have got it wide, and they get it further wide to Joe Burgess, but Burgess just puts that particular pass down. Maybe showing a sign of ring rustiness. He's missed the last 4, has Joe.
Well, to be fair, you've got to understand that this whole outfit, they're getting into the faces of it.
That's great play by Tom Lynham here. He's waiting for Jordan Abdul to come across and help him. He's had to bide his time, be patient, wait for the call from Jordan Abdul on his inside to release him out to take his man. Good, patient defence in the face of quite a bit of Wigan pressure.
And a good battle that will be tonight between Burgess and Lynham. They're both on 21 tries for the season so far, with Jermaine McGilvery, so there is a prize at the end of the season for the top try scorer in the Super League.
Well, I made the point, Eddie, that Wigan may have just been lulled into a sense of it's going to be easy, and they've got the opportunity out wide. This guy can go, don't worry about that.
They can, that's Curtis Norton, but they get him into touch, Wigan.
Good work by Hampshire.
Very good attack by Hull. Good quick hands. Minicello's last pass, I think.
This was superb from the fullback. Not the best technique to take him out, but effective anyway. Went right over the shoulders, finished up in the mush, but there's certainly no intent there. I just made that point, Eddie, in regards to the Wigan. Have you noticed they haven't utilised the forwards down the middle yet? It's as though they just think psychologically, all we've got to do is keep this ball alive. And perhaps late in the game, that will prove to be, but not now.
Wigan then beginning this set of 6 close to their own goal line, and Dom Crosby, one of the big men up the middle, trying to outmuscle the youngster Downs. Now then, a chance here for Bateman. He gets the pass away to Williams. Nice interplay to Gildart. Here's the first of the Wigan tries. Gildart. Good stuff from him. Good support. Quick passing, slick passing by Wigan. Well, we're talking about the Hull youngsters. 3 in a row that Gildart has scored in now. He's made a sensational start to his career, Gildart, and he too is only 19.
Well, it all started. Curtis Norton thought he got through. Good work by Ryan Hampshire. Make sure he went over the whitewash. And for the first time, and Williams is involved in this. Beautiful play. See how Williams reads him, and then just draws the fullback Jamie Shaw. And Gildart has got all the pace. The youngster George Williams is electric at times. He reads the game so well. Beautiful stuff by Bateman, and then Gildart to finish it off. Good pace, and that'll please Sean Wayne. The scoreboard is now working How many times will it click during the course of the remaining minutes?
Well, Ryan Hampshire will take the goal-kicking responsibilities. He's kicked 7 goals this season. He missed last week, did Ryan, but he was a substitute in the win at Warrington last month. Another 20-year-old that we're watching tonight. Some great youngsters in the Super League in 2015. He adds the extras, no problems at all, and Wigan are ahead by 6 points to 0.
You mentioned, Mike, that Wigan didn't want to go down the middle because they think they can find the time and the space out wide. John Bateman, one of the best players for the Warriors this season, shows his skills to get outside the man. And perhaps when they look at it again defensively, Tom Lynham chasing there behind the Wigan player who scores the try, just pushing up a little too fast. I suppose they were short of numbers, he got himself out of position, and if you're stood in the wrong place by a metre or two, well, it can be 6 points.
I think it's accepted the Hull will be behind their post a few times watching Wigan kick conversions. It's how they react when that happens. It's the next set that's going to be crucially important. Don't give Wigan repeat tries. Keep the scoreboard reasonable. You'll give yourself a chance of performing well in this game. You don't want it to slip away early.
Well, you may remember when we were here when Wigan entertained Hull Kingston Rovers in May. They put 60 points past the Robins, and they do look capable of something similar tonight, but we'll have to wait and see. Tautai takes it forward again. Watts in there quickly. Hadley, Downs.
I think, Eddie, to be fair, they only look capable if you look at the team sheets. The performance of Hull FC so far wouldn't give you an indication that this is going to be a blowout score. They've played well.
Yeah, pretty solid, and as I say, they came up with the error when it looked as though they could have started to control the game with the... Make sure they kicked on the final one, but came up with an error very early in the tackle count.
Solid Wigan defence, though, on Jordan Rankin's attempted run from outside his own quarter.
That'll be something that Sean Wayne realises, that they've got to make sure that they try to keep Hull FC with that 0 all the way through the game. That is what we'll be looking at tonight. Oh, nice little dummy there, Logan.
Logan is away, and he's got past 1, 2, 3 defenders, but then under pressure from Burgess, he
That's
just
a knock
drops
on.
the pass.
Well, surely Burgess knocked on there, didn't he?
I think he went backwards on Burgess towards his own post, so that would have been play on from there.
Well, there was certainly a touch by Burgess, but oh, Logan, wonderful break there.
He got the pass away, but he got it straight into the body of Burgess, didn't he?
Well, they've shown, haven't they, the ability. On the left-hand side of the field, they made 2 breaks. Once down the wing, there by the young centre, Jack Logan, who, you know what, he started out playing for Hull on this ground a while back, last season, in fact, and it was a difficult debut for him to make. He learnt a lot from that, and he's slowly improving. I've no doubt he's going to be a great talent, given time.
Well, we said, Phil, didn't we, that these 7 youngsters playing for Hull tonight have the opportunity to show their wares, and boy, that was great stuff. Nice chase.
And Logan is one of those youngsters. He was a teenager at the start of the week. He turned 20 during the course of the past 7 days. Here is Warrington-bound Tom Lynham now. And he gets to his feet and plays the ball to Rankin. Downs will bring it forward again, but only as far as Tautai, with a little bit of help from McIlorum. Danny Houghton on his own 20-metre line, and Hadley gets the pass away. Here's Houghton once again.
And you know when a team is struggling to go forward, when there's players stopping and passing to somebody stood still, just like that, it's dangerous. They can't manage to make the ground. Liam Watts attempts to do it, but again, it's like, there's a type of wrestling that's quite famous called catch as catch can, and in this part of the world, it was very successful. In a lot of the Wigan tackles almost look like they catch the man first, hold him up, before eventually wrestling him to the ground.
That's a good kick, though, from Hadley. Burgess collects it 10 metres from his own line.
And not a bad chase either. And they'll be disappointed. Lee Ratford will be disappointed with the fact that they just got caught out when it was the second rower, John Bateman, that just went through the tackle that created the first try for Gildart. And that's the only missed tackle that they've come up with so far, but it's expensive.
Oh, big collision. Hampshire goes down.
Yeah, Watts really got to him, didn't he?
Tautai now ploughing a furrow up the middle, getting them almost to halfway on tackle number 4.
Eddie, I tell you what, we've got a man of steel system that doesn't necessarily reward players that are playing in teams that finish up near the bottom of the table. Hull FC have a player out here tonight who I think has been exceptional, and it's Mark Minicello. He'll be a player Lee Radford will want to lead these young fellas around tonight. But I don't think he's let the club down at all in the game this season. Really difficult player to stop. They'll want a big performance out of him again tonight.
Well, that's good work though by Wigan.
It is. There's Mark Minicello just jogging his way back into the line here. Shaw moved across the face of his own post. Then there was a little stutter and Wigan came in very quickly, cut his options down. Mark Sneed and that man Minicello we've just been talking about, brought to ground by Logan Tompkins. Plays the ball quickly though to Houghton, and Sneed again will attack the line. Whoops, and a little bit of a fiddle and a faff, but Rankin hangs on.
Yeah, just hesitated slightly. Did Rankin really should have gone for the half gap. But you can see there, that's wonderful work from the hooker, McAlorum.
It is, but he managed to get the ball away, Liam Watts, and this is now Houghton. They fancy their chances down that left-hand side, Hull, because that's where all the danger has come from thus far tonight.
Yeah, well, it's spotting the fact that it's the halfback, Matty Smith, that puts himself on that right side. That's not a bad kick either.
Very good kick from Mark Sneed. Burgess picks it up and looks at the options coming towards him, sees a gap and tries to go through it. But Rankin and Downs close him down. George Williams waits 20 metres from his own line. Back he goes to Hampshire.
Just to put it in context, I think we were looking at St Helens 18-0 up against Castleford at this time in the game yesterday. Now, this is a good performance from Hull FC. I don't think they're going to go on and win the game, but I think they're doing themselves credit, their coach credit, considering the depleted team that they have.
And considering that they have got absolutely nothing to play for now, other than pride, themselves, their supporters, their club, their coach. But they're looking at next year and what is coming up with all those big name players that they have signed from Australia, the likes of Melbourne's Fanua, Canterbury's Pritchard, Sikamanu as well. But this is Burgess. Oh, nice kick forward, great ball from Bateman to Crosby, and he keeps the movement going to Gildart, and Gildart is trapped on the last.
And that was great cover defence by Hull. Equal to the task, so was Wigan with that attacking style.
Brilliant, absolutely brilliant. The pass from George Williams to Joe Burgess, superb, and you've got to give Hull a massive amount of credit. They've been working hard here for almost 20 minutes to live with the pace and intensity of a team in the top couple of places, fighting for that league leader shield. And look here now, it's a relentless defensive wall that pushes Hull back.
Yeah, it's a talented in George Williams, and you just got the impression that, you know, George Burrs is just a little bit short of fitness there. Maybe after 3 or 4 games he would have gone on his own. He had the gap, but opted for the kick instead.
Just let me finish off that list of newcomers for next year for the Black and Whites. Newcastle's Twimavavi, the ex-Wigan and Salford forward Scott Taylor, and returning Danny Washbrook. They will all be in the Black and Whites in 2016. It's been an impressive shopping list for Hull at the end of this year. Can the Giant come out of its slumbers 12 months hence? We shall see.
Well, you see the difference. All the previous kicks that Hull have put down, their chase has been good. It was a little bit laboured on that occasion. That's good refereeing by James Child.
Well, he's giving Hull the option to get out of the way. Gildart to his feet will play it here to Williams. And, well, good work again.
Good offload by Clubb.
It was Tony Clubb to McAlorum. This is Hampshire. Trying to weave his way to the line. Oh, what a pass that was to Bateman. Bateman dinks it forward, goes for it himself. Well done. Well done, the full-back, Jamie Shaw.
Yeah, he responded well, didn't he? Jamie Shaw thought perhaps it's a neat little chip through. Nice offload as well.
Yes, Minicello to Watts.
Whoa, dangerous.
It's 2 offloads within 10 metres of their own try line because they can't get forward and out of their own half of the field. Kicked through there by John Bateman. He toes it on again.
He's done brilliantly there, Jamie Shaw. Put his body in the place, the right position, and brave enough to get down where John Bateman might have towed the ball on again. Excellent play from the fullback.
Big Feka Paliasina is out there, the ex-Wigan man, where his Super League fun and games began on this ground, the DW Stadium, with the Black and Whites for at least 1 more year. That's a good clearing kick.
Yeah, it sort of wobbled off the boot slightly, but
Jordan Abdul did well.
And he's going to have to make sure that the kicking game throughout the night from Abdul is absolutely spot on. But you could tell by that last kick and chase that they put a lot of effort into it, and I'm sure the coach Lee Ratford is fully aware of that.
Tell you what, Eddie, if you ring the Hull FC club offices, which I had to do today, you get a recording of Fecca Palacina asking you which option you want. One for the offices, two for merchandise. Hearing that gruff voice, you'd almost buy a jersey straight away.
Well, they refuse to be downbeat up there in East Yorkshire. Lee Radford certainly refuses to be so. He sees this injury crisis as an opportunity to assess these youngsters at the very highest level. And there's only one other team higher than Wigan in the table at the moment, and that's the Leeds Rhinos.
And you've got to give a lot of credit as well to Lee Ratford. You know, after a couple of games, everyone was saying he'll be the first to be sacked. I think under the circumstances, with a lot of injuries, I think he's done exceptionally well.
Well, they avoided the dreaded bottom four, of course, which was the first aim of 2015.
Just when they thought they had Wigan maybe a little bit of parity after 20 minutes, they brought on Tony Clubb, Lee Mossop, two bigger men, stronger men are making the dents. They've shifted it wide to the right. Gelling, can he find his man?
Yes, he can, brilliantly. And Sharnley, now then, did Mark Sneed get a knee to this? No, he didn't. The try is given without reference upstairs by James Child. Josh Charnley goes into double figures for 2015. Try last week against the Catalan Dragons as well. That's now 140 tries for Charnley. This is his 139th appearance.
This was good work. And Gelling, yet again. What a season this fella's had. Anthony Gelling, you talk about quality. He holds it in one hand, flips it away. Charnley, it must be a dream, if you're a winger, to play outside a man of this ability. You see how he just sucked in Curtis Norton. He squeezes into the corner.
I think Curtis Norton has done the right thing to come in on Anthony Gelling. He's just not attacked the ball. He'll look at that, he'll go do his video review with Lee Radford, and the next time he plays against Wigan, he won't make the same mistake. He'll come in, but he'll lock the ball up instantly. If you have a look at the replay when we see it after this kick, Curtis Norton's trying to wrap himself around the midriff of Anthony Gelling, leaving him free to put his big hand around and release Josh Charnley in the corner. Just a little learning lesson for the winger.
Well, Anthony Gelling, who created the try with that beautiful pass, back after 2 matches out. He was man of the match in the win at Hull in July at the KC Stadium. And Ryan Hampshire now. This is a far more difficult kick. Let's see whether he's up to this. Oh, yes, he is. Yes, he is, you know. Ryan Hampshire makes it 12-0. 96 points they are behind the Leeds Rhinos in terms of points for and against at the start of play.
Well, the two tall twins down on the right-hand side, Joel Tompkins, Anthony Gelling, they're massive men. Not only are they big and athletic, but they've got rugby skill. And that was perfectly demonstrated there. That's a problem for any team that will play those two. They're paired together, stopping them. You certainly need some brave men, some talented defenders who can not only stop the man, but stop the ball as well.
Tony Clubb working the ball back upfield. We are on the second match of 6 live for you across the platforms this weekend. The qualifiers continue tomorrow on Sky Sports 5. Hull Kingston Rovers against Bradford at 3 o'clock. And then immediately after that, we're back in the Super 8s with the Catalan Dragons match against the Leeds Rhinos. That one kicks off at 5, also on Sky Sports 5. And there's 2 more for you on Sunday on Sky Sports Extra as well, by the way.
This is the problem that ties in with the point Phil made earlier. You bring on fresh men, you need to try and win the ruck if you're Hull FC to slow Wigan down. You end up conceding a penalty for staying on just a little too long. Be interesting to see now if James Child has the whistle in his mouth a little more frequently over the next few minutes and penalises Hull FC.
Mossop goes down the middle. Paliacina's round his ankles. There are 3 more up top.
And that's the only way to tire the opposition as well, to get that short pass. Good work from McAlorum, using the big fellas down the middle. Then they know they've got the link. Work the blind side now. That's good defence, though.
Yes, no way through for Tompkins. Minicello all over the top of him. Wigan asking for a penalty for stopping the man getting up off his feet quick enough. It's a knock on, though, by Matty Smith.
Free play.
And they're looking to make the most of this with Rankin. And Rankin, they're asking him to kick the ball up the middle. Well, Jamie Shaw was, but he just couldn't get his feet in order to do that. This is Liam Watts. They're playing with a lot of enthusiasm, aren't they, Hull? They really are.
They certainly are. And, I mean, that was a horrible mistake there from Matty Smith, and he knows it. But, you know, the scoreline is 12-0. I suppose you'd think that Sean Wayne would be quite happy. He'll be far from it. Hull have made so many clean breaks from missed tackles from Wigan. That is not what Sean Wayne will be wanting tonight.
Norton, the dummy half, gives it infield to Sneed. Here is Hadley. Hadley looks for the runner. He's there. That's a great offload. And Shaw is clawed down by Gildart and McAlorum. Turgot. Oh, and the ball bounces off one man and over the top of Tom Lynham. Otherwise, that might have been the first Hull try.
Yeah, good work. They spotted that you could see George Williams was very slow to come back into defensive line, so they went on that blind side. The idea was there, but this was a good break from Jordan Rankin. As I say, Sean Wayne will not be pleased, and he's every right to be upset about it. We saw another one. Logan went out on that left-hand side. Now we've seen one from Jordan Rankin. And
well, he's animated, isn't he?
Yeah, well, when he gets animated, he's angry. Stay away.
Burgess is halted. Tackle from Minicello. Hampshire. Gelling again.
Have the Hull players got anything in them that can force the ball free here, forcing a mistake from Wigan, either getting up quickly or hitting them that hard the ball comes free, because they're desperate for some possession near to Wigan's try line. We've played for over 25 minutes and they fail really yet to have a play the ball in Wigan's 20-metre zone.
Sam Powell wanting to get on with this. Eventually they do. Mossop to Smith, short pass from him.
As usual, you see down the bottom of the legs, Danny Houghton does work hard in that defensive position, helped out by Jordan Abdul there. Now then, will they go for the big bomb or will they go for position?
It's with Williams. He's running laterally and then he passes it wide to Gelling. And Gelling with a kick down the line, asking Charnley to attack it. It's a knock on though. That's unfortunate for Logan.
Yeah, he anticipated the kick from Anthony Gelling. He did everything right and then just fumbled it at the vital moment. Gelling knew there was nothing out wide and he just lost control of it. Just. Might see it a bit clearer here.
Does the ball go forward?
Just there, just came away from
forward,
his hand.
Do you think he goes forward?
Just bounced a little forward, yes, off the fingertips.
It's just that last touch, isn't it? It just takes it slightly forward, and that's all it needs.
Here, Phil,
watch. He's always going back towards the line. Watch, it's impossible.
There.
That's
going backwards
forward.
towards the line.
That's where it goes forward.
Either way, Wigan have got the advantage.
They have. They are in possession, 10 metres away. Powell. Back it comes to Williams. There was Smith. And it's Gelling again. Up and over the top, forward though to Charnley.
He's not impressed, Josh Charnley, either. And I don't think that Anthony Gelling will be, because he's certainly just sucked in the winger. There was going to be the overlap. You could see there that Curtis Norton once again was coming away from the line. Luckily, as far as Hull is concerned, it was going forward.
There you go, Phil. Justice seen to be done.
Just to make the same point again, Curtis Norton coming in, he's going to have to shut the ball down with Gelling. He did have to come in on that occasion. If he stays out on Charlie, it's a clean walk in for Gelling. But when you come in with a big man like that wants to offload it, just do something to get your hands on the ball and make it difficult for Gelling to get a pass away.
He got a finger in the eye, I think, didn't he?
Yes, he did. He immediately put the hand to his face and he stayed down here.
But that was ferocious defence there by Tony Clubb. Yeah, it's accidental.
Well, not accidentally, it's actually a high tackle, isn't it? It's contact with the head in the tackle. Very well result in a penalty, this.
Well, Sam Powell certainly went high.
Last time we saw Wigan, Michael McAlorum had a similar injury to that. It's kept him out for a game or two in the aftermath.
Lacerated tear duct.
Horrible.
It's dropped him. Oh, it's come up straight away as well. See, trying to get out, trying to make some yards, share the workload. Oh yeah.
Wow, there's a bending on the fingers there. I didn't see that in the first impact.
It really looks worse.
Yeah,
in slow motion.
Certainly
than it did
does.
At full speed.
Well, I thought well, it's difficult to say, but the bending of the fingers, that's not good.
I think I could see some blood. Was there blood beginning to emerge from it?
See, at slow motion it looks bad, but
Yeah,
if you look at it at normal
well, he's
speed,
gone and grabbed at the same time Tom Lynham's gone to fend him, so it's. I would be very surprised if he went in. You see some blood just appearing there. The medics try and treat him.
We're not saying for 1 minute, are we, that Sam Powell meant that?
No, but it was just the way that he bent the fingers, and that's made it worse for it. We're not suggesting that at all, but either way, Hull are down to without one of their better players, more experienced players as well.
Yes, Lynham leaving the field, as you see, with a problem with the right eye. That won't help. Nicky Payer trying to move the ball forward once more for Hull FC, and playing the ball there to Houghton, and all he can do is just thump the ball downfield. Hampshire position himself, picks the ball up, gets over halfway.
And that was great position by Hampshire as well, because Danny Horton, he elected to kick on the third, didn't wait till the final one, and the fullback Hampshire certainly read it well. He dropped back already. Got good positional sense as a youngster.
And here's Connor Farrell for Wigan, fed by George Williams. Sam Powell waits 20 metres away. Will come into centre field to George Williams. Williams then gives it to Smith. Good hands. Hampshire was on the receiving end of that.
That's his pinch. Well, he's pinched it, Minicello.
He has, but he's pinched it illegally, says the referee.
Well, it was 1-on-1, wasn't it?
Tackle was completed, I think he's saying, Stuart.
That's what he'll have called. The tackle's complete and then the ball is stolen, so that will be the reason for the penalty. It's deemed that he's made contact with the ground and then he's taken the ball after that.
Yeah, he just saw the ball carrying arm did hit terra firma, so the officials got it right.
Well, as we approach the half-hour mark, an opportunity for Wigan to add to their lead, which they do with Bateman. The Hull supporters are far from impressed with the decision of James Child, but Bateman gets the try back onto the sticks. His 7th of the season. Back in the second row tonight after the last 7 in the centres, and a try in the win against Hull in July. He is Wigan's top tackler this year, is John Bateman. And they're underneath the sticks again, are Hull, and having a debate about what's going wrong. It's 16-0 and a kick to come.
Well, this is the Minicello. You can see there that Hampshire's ball carrying arm did hit the deck, and that was sufficient. Minicello took it after that. And interesting to see the likes of John Bateman, who loves nothing better than to play out wide on that left. But he's come inside and said, hey, I want some of the spoils. He's having a top game. Remember, he was the man that created the first try, and he's got over for one for himself. He's a classic player.
I don't think there are any other players in this competition who can do what he does, which is play in the middle of the field like a big, strong, tough forward and play out wide like a centre or second rower with the skills and the speed to do that and the brilliant footwork that helps him to get past defenders. John Bateman is brilliant, and I bet the Bradford supporters who are watching tonight must be just wondering what would have happened to their club had they been able to hold on to Sam Burgess and John Bateman, two of the world's best rugby players. Here he's now playing for Wigan and showing just how well he can do it. Look at the pass. Again, I want to go back to the point Stuart made though, as we see him just step inside the defenders. I'm surprised that Hull weren't given a penalty for the high tackle when Sam Powell hits on Lynham. I'm fascinated to hear maybe at half-time the referee's thinking on why that's not a high tackle.
So 18-0 Wigan, and we've still got 8 minutes to half-time. And here comes Tony Clubb again for them. Remember, for Wigan tonight, as far as they are concerned anyway, it's all about building a big win and cutting down that Leeds points difference, which before we started tonight stood at 96 points. It's almost worth another point in the race for the League Leaders' Shield. If Wigan could have put a big dent in that and then Catalan Dragons can put a big dent in the Rhinos tomorrow. Who knows what will happen? Huddersfield and Warrington is available on the Sky Sports for iPad app, on Sky Sports Extra. And same place on Sunday, a couple of hours later at 5 for Salford against Sheffield, which is the match from the qualifiers. 6 live games across our platforms this weekend.
Beautiful kick into the corner. Turn them around, make the opposition even a little more tired. Great kick by Matty Smith. He does read the game exceptionally well. You've also got to take into account it. A lot of these players in this Wigan outfit, they will want to impress Steve McNamara in regards to, you know, being selected for the tests against New Zealand later this year.
There's a man that might be selected sometime in the future. Very interesting story. Wearing the number 35 jersey for Hull FC. When the scrum breaks, you get a look at him. Masimbashi Mantonga for Hull FC. There he is. He's Zimbabwean born, I believe. Actually a trainee accountant. Only took up the game about 5 years ago. Was playing for one of the amateur teams in Hull, Norland Sharks. They had a look at him. They thought they liked the look of him, and this is the first week he's trained with the first team squad. Interested to see how he goes.
Well, that was a shame there. He got the ball there, but I'm afraid his foot was already over the line.
Head and feet to Wigan then, deep in Hull territory.
You'll see that Rankin just had his foot there. And it's a simple error. One that will not please Lee Ratford.
So Jordan Rankin just with a foot on the whitewash, gifting Wigan more territory, more possession, deep inside their own half. And Powell from the back of the scrum gives it to Tony Clubb.
Well, they'll be desperate, Wigan, to try to make it at least 24 points at the half-time break. They know how important it is, especially their coach, Sean Wayne.
Mossop, good drive from him. Down he goes. Massey on the back of Masimbashi Matongo's jersey. Williams and Smith trying to go past Minicello and company. Good work though by him and Downs, bring the England scrum half to his knees. This is Hampshire. Back he comes from Hampshire to Williams. Bullet pass to Burgess. Burgess then gets it away to Bateman. Couldn't take it in. So chance here. And away they go to Hull. They have a full line ahead of them. Jamie Shaw.
Look at Bateman.
Bateman's trying to cut him down, but he's not going to be denied. And Shaw will go in the corner.
But what a wonderful effort by Bateman. Bateman made sure that he had to score in the corner and not be able to run round and put it underneath the sticks. But fair credit to Jamie Shaw, but you've got to take your hat off to the effort from John Bateman. You're leading 18 points to 0, and he would have thought that they were only 2 points behind.
Well, this started with Jordan Rankin being all sorts of trouble here on the outside. You'll have a look at him. He's trying to buy time. He tried to wrap up Burgess, who flicks the ball back in. Well, Shaw didn't hang about, but you're right to reference John Bateman. Head down, looks like it's going to bomb off. There he goes, look at the high knees. And he makes sure that if they're going to kick another two, Eddie, it's going to be a very good kick. Great play.
Tremendous stuff. Opportunity was there, but you can see that the winger had just gone to sleep. He didn't realise that the reverse pass was coming. Jamie Shaw, but Bateman's effort, dearie me, talk about second impulse. You may have got there, son, but I've stopped you from making it easy for the conversion.
Tries in 3 of the last 4 qualifiers for Jamie Shaw now. And John Bateman's great chase back has meant that this is anything but academic for Mark Sneyd.
Who predicted this scoreline?
No.
18-4, 36 minutes gone. Sneyd kicks this.
And they've had a couple of breaks down the other side as well, haven't they?
They absolutely have. They've cut open Wigan a few times. They're probably up around 5 breaks now at this stage.
So Mark Sneyd, can he kick the extras? And how about this for a kick? And how about this for a scoreline? 18 points to 6 as we approach half-time. Hull without Tom Lynham. Let's get news of him, Angela.
He's still being attended to, Eddie, by the doctor in the changing rooms. As you saw earlier on, he got a finger in the eye. It's very bruised, very sore, very blooded, and right now it's looking like he won't be able to come back on. His vision's being pretty badly affected by it. Of course, Hull are dealing with several men down this week and are managing to give a lot of their youngsters some chance on the field, but it looks like there might be another man down for this game.
It looks like he won't be returning. Mickey Payer is out there. Maybe somebody might be able to talk to Steve-O about that during his session on Twitter at half-time, at Sky Sports RL, hashtag AskSkyRL, and same addresses for Phil at full-time.
What is quite amazing with that Tom Lineham off the field, I think that's 15 players now that Hull don't have available for this game. I don't recall ever going to a game with Sky Sports when one of the Super League sides had virtually an entire team unavailable. It's an amazing set of circumstances, terrible injury luck that they've had so far this year, and they're doing pretty well here with some young lads starting out on their careers.
First penalty of the match here for Hull FC.
Sorry, that noise. Phil Clark retreating, backing the truck up after saying, on boots and all, that the Sky Sports commentary team would have a better chance than Hull FC.
If they played like they did at Warrington, Brian, come on, quote me accurately.
So Hull here with a great chance with Mickey Payer. And Houghton goes down the left-hand side against a Sneed. Short ball from him. Oh, they've missed another tackle. And they're going to go in for another try here with Jack Logan. This is unbelievable from Hull. The youngsters have certainly put the cat amongst the pigeons in the last 2 minutes.
And not only that, Eddie, we continue to say one thing. Wigan looked as though they're going to just breeze it in, but their defence out wide, both on left and right, is pretty poor. Sean Wayne will be furious.
Well, this was the penalty because Logan Tompkins didn't clear the ruck.
He never attempted to get out of the way. But this is very, very poor defence. Come away and then put themselves in there. This really has upset the Sean Wayne. He will have plenty to say at half-time. Do not worry about that. Take nothing away from this Jack Logan. That's the second occasion that he has just fooled this Wigan defence out on that right-hand side.
And it's an expensive penalty that Joel Tompkins has given away. And you're right, Sean Wayne will be livid. This could be 18-12 in a moment. We're in the last minute of this first half.
Well, any Leeds fans over the other side of the Pennines, they will be saying, well, we were a little bit frightened about the scoreline, but let's not get too hasty.
And so were the bookies, by the way. The bookies were frightened of the scoreline possibility.
Look at Sean Wayne. He's so eager to get them in that dressing room, licking his lips. I know what's going through his head.
It's 18-12, and we're 40 seconds away from half-time. The small but loyal band of supporters from Hull who have travelled here have seen 2 tries in 3 minutes.
And it was Matty Smith that missed him.
Matty Smith, Joel Tompkins and Ryan Hampshire all had a go at him there. Sean Wayne, I'm sure he'll have something to say to them as they walk off the field.
He'll be proud as punch, will Lee Radford.
Imagine sitting in the change rooms at Wigan at half-time if you're this Hull FC side. Everybody's written you off. You might go in now, looks like just 6 points down. That's a wonderful achievement, and it'll be a part of the career of some of these younger players that they don't ever forget.
You might have done them a favour, Phil.
As I said before, Eddie, there's a long way to go, and there's a half-time, but only 6 points in it.
He's on his way.
The big fella's just wound up. He must be proud as punch. The heart will be pounding.
He'll be delighted, he really will. He'll be absolutely thrilled with what he's seen. And, well, Sean Wayne was on his way up the tunnel as the siren sounded, and I think there will be some harsh words spoken in there. They were 18-0 up. They looked like they were coasting. It's a little bit like last night in St Helens. They were 18-0 up, and Castleford fought their way back into the match up towards half-time. The youngsters of Hull have done themselves proud here tonight. What's going to happen in the second half, though? That's the big question.